So today we're going to be looking at adjectives or reviewing adjectives that we did earlier in the year. And I want to remind you that an adjective describes a noun. And of course, I hope you remember that a noun is a person, a place, or a thing. So adjectives are going to give you more information about the noun. So somebody reading your story can have a better picture in their mind of what you're talking about. If you add describing words, like what something tastes like, or the color, or the size, or the sound it makes, then the person is going to have a better picture of what you're trying to say. So I'm going to review some of the types of adjectives that there are out there. There is a lot of different types of adjectives. So there's ones that talk about what something looks like, something smells like, some color is an adjective, what something tastes like, the size of something is an adjective, what something feels like is an adjective, the sound it makes is an adjective, how many numbers are actually adjectives, and also the behavior can be an adjective. So I'm going to give you some examples to give you a better idea. So remember that we had talked about earlier in the year that we have 5 senses, and the 5 senses, the words that are connected to the 5 senses are oftentimes adjectives, okay? So if you can remember those, it's going to help you. So remember that our 5 senses are, we have our hearing is a sense. We have our sense of smell. Number 3, we have our sight, what something looks like, we're looking at something. What something tastes like, taste. And then our 5th one is touch, like what something feels like, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples here. So sounds, see the ear on there, sounds can be adjectives. Here's some examples. Quiet, quiet. So if the child is quiet, the quiet child, then that'll help you know something about the person. Loud, loud is the opposite of quiet, but they are both adjectives to help someone understand more about what you're saying. Okay, so that was our hearing sense, right? Then remember we have our sense of smell. You see the nose on here, smell, our sense of smell. You can use adjectives to describe smells. Here's some examples. Stinky, stinky, something stinky. If you're telling us it's stinky, we have a really good idea what you mean. We also have sweet. Once again, these are opposites, stinky and sweet, something that you like to smell, something you don't like to smell. Those are both adjectives. Another sense of our senses is taste. You see they have on here the mouth showing the tongue, what something tastes like. Words that show taste are often adjectives. Here's some examples. Yummy. Yummy is an adjective that tells us what something tastes like. And here we just saw this one a few minutes ago. Sweet. In this case, sweet is candy. And the other one, it was sweet, a smell. So the same word could mean something different. In this case, it's the sweet taste, like the sugary taste. In this, it's the sweet smell. Okay, but we're just talking about taste right now, sweet. Here's another taste, salty, salty. French fries, if they have their salt on them, are salty. Here's another taste, sour. Like if you just bite into a lemon, it could taste sour. That's another adjective describing taste. Okay. There are so many to describe looks. There are so many that describe looks. Okay, so I'm going to go over those, just some examples of those, because there are super lot of them. Okay, so if you're describing what something looks like, you may give the color. So these are both yellow and orange. are adjectives that describe the color of something. You might tell just what something, the size of something that you can see would also be adjectives. Well, let's give some opposites here. Okay, we have tall and small. Those are both how something looks, and these are opposites. So tall, right, small and tall are both adjectives to describe what something looks like. You might also use ones like round, round and big. Those describe what something looks like. So many words you can use to describe what something looks like. I talked about color, and then you might have things like that's something you're looking at it and it's dirty, and the opposite clean. Okay, so those are describing what something looks like. You might say something's pretty, or you might say something is young or old, more opposites. Okay, these are also describing what something looks like. Okay. Oops. You also, another one of our senses is touch, feeling, right? Feels. See a hand on there, just like we do, a hand. So lots of adjectives can describe what something feels like, okay? So we could have another set of opposites. We could have cold and hot. Those are opposites, but they are also describing what something feels like. Other ones that you might have that describe what something feels like, something sharp, like this is the thorns on the flower are sharp. So if you're describing those, you use sharp so somebody knows to be careful. Sticky, the tape is sticky. Or you could say something is hard, like if you were touching it, it was hard. Those are all adjectives that are related to our senses, our five senses. Remember what they are. There are hearing, smelling, taste, sight, and touch. Those are our senses. So whenever you're trying to describe a noun, a person, place, or thing, if you think of your senses, you can add adjectives to help describe them better. Another type of adjective is how many. You may not have realized this, but like numbers are adjectives, like saying four, like there's 4 kids, adjectives. Or even using words like many. If you say many, that's an adjective. There were many bugs. Okay, so those are other types of adjectives. And then the last type I want to tell you about, last type I want to tell you about is there's also ones that have to do with feelings. Feelings, okay? So happy and sad, the opposites. Those are also adjectives. If you're describing a kid, the sad kid, okay? Or the happy kid, those are adjectives. Or something that's funny, that's an adjective. So there are just so many adjectives out there, friends, and we're going to be doing lots of activities to help make our sentences a lot more interesting by adding adjectives to them. Thank you for listening.